He beat the #1 place finisher coming out of that Aquinas Super Regional. Look out, man.
Oh, yes. Away they go. Well, we want to welcome everyone back here to the start of some semifinal action in this Division III WIAA sectional wrestling tournament. We do have a match going on out here on mat number 3. That's in the upper right corner of your screen with Birchman of Fenimore, and he is taking on, let's see, Grunfelder, who is an undefeated wrestler.
No, this is at 113. So
oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
That's Orloff.
Thank you for catching. I apologize, folks.
That's all right. We had it out there earlier.
Yes, 113. You're right. You did. I just spaced.
And we got our other semifinal at 113 on the other end, and that's Fitzpatrick against Meads from Riverdale.
Wow.
So I don't know how we got to semifinals at 13. 6 must both be called up here on mat number 1.
Yeah.
Or 2, excuse me.
Well, we do have the one part I was right. It was Lisa Birchman, right?
Yep, you got that right.
I was 50-50.
Yep.
You never know, right?
Well, there is a Birchman coming up at 106.
At 106, yeah.
And he is wrestling Grunfelder from Picatana Argyle. How that match got moved back. 6-3 yet here in favor of the young man from New Lisbon. Uh-oh. Nice shot by the young man from Mineral Point, Arrett. And he's going to... Oh,
he got it.
He got it. The Lisbon wrestler got hurt, too. So it's 6-5. There's only 5 seconds to go. There's a fall down there by Birchman.
Yes.
The young man just moved down from 120 pounds last week, and he is quite a fixture at 113. He's going to be a tough out.
So Orloff now moves to the back.
Yes.
And he is going to, in the wrestlebacks, he is going to have to wrestle Gajewski of Hillsborough.
Hillsborough, yes.
7-5 score here, Kirk, with 5 seconds remaining. And Alrit not able to catch the New Lisbon wrestler here at 285, and that's quite the win.
That's a big win.
Joe
came in with a higher ranking, though. So
did he?
Yeah, well, a placing, I should say.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. I don't know how that works out.
It's so hard to tell sometimes with how they put things in there. So
we're done with our quarterfinals. We're in semifinals on all the mats now. So we're finally getting a 106 bout out here. That'll be the young man, Jaden Grier from Westby, as he takes on Roger Flagey from Aquinas. So Westby in action there, Ken. I'll let you watch that one.
Yeah, that should be a pretty interesting one here. I believe these two did wrestle down at Mineral Point, and Geyer had picked up the win in that one, if I recall correctly. It was a pretty good match.
We have down on our far match a semifinal at 120. And then that is Rodavich Alexander taking on Aaron Nutter from Fenimore. Nutter, number 2 in the state. Down on our other semifinal, Fitzpatrick is up 7-1 down there in that semifinal. I got to come back and get my finalist here for
Geyer coming in now at a 40-11 record, and with Flagey at 32-6.
First period takedown though for him though.
Geyer out in front now with that takedown, as Kirk mentioned, 2-zip. At 120 pounds, they've bumped up here on mat number 3.
Yep.
And this is going to be Nutter of Fenimore taking on Alexander Radovich from New Lisbon.
Almost done with the second period down here on mat number 1. Still that 7-1 lead for Fitzpatrick, number 1 ranked wrestler from Aquinas.
Geyer in control here, now out in front of Flagey. Flagey trying to get that escape. They're very close to it. They're going to go out of bounds, and Geyer still has control.
Good job by him there. Flagey was trying to get in a position to drag out of that.
Yep.
And Geyer just pushed in and stayed on top.
Nutter trying to pick up a near fall situation. He does have that little hip tilt once again. Time runs out. He's out in front 5-0 after the 3 near fall.
Spatrick down there scores early in this third period. Now takes a 9-1 lead down there in the semifinal action at 1:13.
2-0 score as Geyer trying to ride out Flagey here. The end of period number 1 drawing near.
Get out of that period with the lead, I think, was a win there for Geyer.
Yes. Flip of the disc is going to be Flagey's choice, and he says down. He wants to see if he can't maybe tie this match up in period number 2.
7-0 now that Nutter scores another takedown down there. Leads that about 7-0. Still 9-1 down here in our semifinal action at 1:13 with Fitzpatrick. Wow, I turned away and Nutter pinned him.
Yeah, just like that. So Nutter is going to move on to the finals. He punches his ticket to the state tournament. And Radovich will drop back.
And he will take on another Hillsboro wrestler. So Hillsboro wrestlers are getting new life, Ken.
Yes, they are.
That's 2 in a row that they got back in the tournament. Oh, Meese scored a takedown down there against Fitzpatrick. That's a big move for him. And now he gets a stalling point besides. So 9-5 with 20 seconds to go. Fitzpatrick hasn't seen a match like it. Of course, Meese from Riverdale, we've watched him earlier. Brody Meese has done some really good things this year. But he's going to end up going in the backside here pretty quick, though, the way it looks.
But I tell you what, that's got to be something there. You got to be saying, all right, I can do this.
Yep, that had to give him some confidence. He loses 9-5, but he loses to the state champion.
Well, it's still 2-1 score here as Geyer just couldn't quite turn the corner here off from Flagey's shot at 106 pounds.
That gives the young man from Boscobel a chance to get back in the tournament.
Oh, right, yep.
We stated we'll probably get done with the semifinal, and then we'll go to what they call the consolation semifinals, where the loser of this round wrestles the loser of the first round to the person who was in the finals.
Trying to come up with that takedown. Oh, just out of bounds.
Yeah, just out of bounds. That was a good move there by Geyer.
Over
there
at
on 126.
I was going to say, thanks, Kirk.
Yep, 126 we moved up to there. And that would be another Fendermo runner wrestler, Brecken Minch. Z takes on Hunter Stevens, though, and Hunter gets the first takedown.
Well, we're going to go to period number 3. Geyer out in front by 1. His choice, and he's going to opt to take the down position, see if he can't get up and out of there. We got another 126-pound matchup going on in the upper right corner on the Ithaca mat. That is Gunnar Wolpat of Royal. He is taking on Reed Sawyer. Those two have matched up in the past, and now it's a chance to punch their ticket to the state tournament, whoever wins this one.
Geyer almost away there, but he also wants to be careful he doesn't get himself in trouble.
Yeah. Out of bounds they go. They'll come back. Again, Geyer out in front, 2-1. 1:38 to go, looking to punch his ticket to the state tournament. The semifinals, as Kirk mentioned, you win, and you're going to go to the Kohl Center.
Just a matter of where you want to sit.
Yeah, right.
You want to be sitting now as champion, second, or you really don't want to get caught in that wrestleback.
Right. Well, and here's the other interesting part too, Kirk, is that now the state tournament is seeded.
Yes.
So there's not always there's a value to being the sectional champion.
Well,
but we've seen last year where some sectionals, their wrestlers coming out were seeded 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and they were seated, but I think they've added 2 new criteria I saw in there.
Oh, they did?
In the book. And
Okay.
one of the first ones, as a matter of fact, it is the first one, we'll look at a little bit later, is head-to-head.
Ah, okay.
Which I'm sure is going to be that head-to-head is going to be the biggest influence of how they finish here in the sectional.
Absolutely, yeah. Geyer has the escape now, trying to come up with a takedown, but Flagey jumps in on the leg, very close to the edge of the mat here. Flagey comes up with a takedown. He'll tie it up.
Want to be careful here how hard you fight this, Ken.
Yeah.
Use the line in your favor in your positioning, and he does a nice job there. But 30 seconds to go. This is going to get really wild now. 3-1 in favor of Geyer.
They'll be back on their feet in the neutral position. Well, a little bit of a quick start there by Flagey, but no call. Geyer will try and keep him at arm's length. Go
ahead, Ken.
Well, I was going to say down to about 15 seconds now. You can see the clock in the left side there. Front headlock situation here by Geyer. Now trying to come in with a shot is Flagey. Warning stalling here on Geyer. Up over the top, down to 2 seconds, and that's going to do it.
Yeah, a young man from Westby punches his ticket to the state tournament.
He gets that win.
Now he's got a chance to get championship, too.
Yes. So a big matchup there. Congratulations to Jaden Geyer. He picks up the win, and the Norsemen have at least a wrestler in the state tournament.
That gives Parker Milsna from Cashion a new life in the tournament.
That's right.
So that'll bring our other semifinal out, as Ken had mentioned earlier. Cade Birchman, he will take on the fine sophomore Aiden Grunfelder from Peck Argyle. Down in our other matches, we saw a score down there in our match at 126 from New Lisbon first on the board. He gets points, and he leads 2-0 over Wolpat. And Stevens, he just keeps rolling along down there on the other end against Minch from Fenimore. Those two saw each other last week, and Hunter came out on top. And again this week, Hunter's up 8-1 now with 15 seconds to go in the second period. So we'll kind of split this back up again. I'll watch purple and maybe some orange, and you can watch black.
Well, we take a look on that black mat, as Kirk mentioned, at 126 pounds. They've really jumped this one up a little bit here, as it is going to be Iowa Grant in Hunter Stevens. He's out in front 8-1, excuse me, over Brecken Minch. Stevens only that freshman, and he has been red hot here throughout the year. Coming in now with that win in the previous round at 43-2. There's a nice little snap, and he's able to cut the corner and get the takedown, and he goes right into a crossface series, crossface chest crusher series. He's going to pick up at least a 2 near fall, and now leads. I don't know, it's 10-1. I think he might have a couple points sitting out there. There it is. 12-1 the score, and there's another 1 count though, off from a facelift.
The class tournament, we got to sit up here by the Sarbacher family from running their wrestling school down there in Cobb, Wisconsin. They're really proud of this young man. He's, I think he's the pride of Linden, I think they said.
Is that right? I guess.
Kind of in between Iowa Grant and Mineral Point there. I'm sure they would like that family Mineral Point to move a little bit more. But Iowa Grant's pretty happy to have him.
Yeah.
4-1 score down there in Sawyer's match against Woipat. And Woipat came in here as a super regional champion, and Sawyer came in as I believe he probably would have came in as a third.
That sounds about right.
So he's really turning it on here right now. Don't want to jinx him, but he's up 4-1 with 1:15 to go. Grunfelder up in his match, 4-1 against Birchman. This Grunfelder, he's quite a sophomore for Peck Argyle. It's been a while since they've had, he did a nice job for him last year too.
Yes.
He's on a roll this year.
He's a machine right now.
Number 2 ranked in the state, and he's sporting a 46-0 record. blood time on your far mat there, but now that's up to 14-1 in favor of Stevens. 40 seconds to go down here on mat number 1. Sawyer came in here, he already beat Carson Kroll. I'm sure Carson over there, and I really hope for the Timmy Terrell crew over there and the rest of the Terrell family that would get Carson back in this tournament or a shot back in it if Sawyer can keep his lead here. It's always this round here where the turnabout of fate, if there's a upset can get you back in or an upset can push you out when you thought you were going to get back in.
Right, exactly.
Just a few seconds left here now, and Reed Sawyer is going to come up with 2 wins here today, and he's going to put himself into the final action, and he's going to punch his ticket to the state tournament. That means Carson Kroll will now be in the wrestleback round against Gunnar Wopat of Royal. Wish him luck there. That's a good deal for the New Lisbon crew, as they know they got a wrestler going to this state tournament.
Yeah, very nice job there.
New coaches there building a program up.
Yep.
Or continuing a program, should say. 7-2 now in favor of Grunfelder in our middle mat. You can run into some blood time down there, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
So now we're going to move up to 132. Go ahead, Ken.
Well, I was just going to say, I forgot to mention here, I just want to do the quick hit on so many of our fine sponsors from the semis and the finals. I want to talk about them, and that is, of course, Advanced Pump and Well Solutions, Larry and Shelley Ferguson right here in Richland Center. Pastor Trevor Scrady in Viroqua, it's Bethel Home and Services. Buzzy's Home Furniture, thanks to Mark and the great crew down there in Viroqua. Campbell's Mobile, that's Crystal. And Solar Meats, that's Rich, as they combine to help us out with today's broadcast. Ernie at Cashton Farm Supply. And, of course, Ryan Alderson, the superintendent at the Cashton School District, as I appreciate their support. They paid for that streaming service that we put on the championship team sectional, the semis in that championship. And, of course, our thanks to Cashton Wrestling Club helping us out today. More coming up here in just a moment.
16-1. Hunter Stevens punches his ticket to the finals from Iowa Grant Highland. So that will push Minch in the backside there. And now he will have to wrestle Drew Powell. Gets new life there from Brookwood.
Yeah, good
and
for
he
him.
Gets a chance to see if he can come all the way back and get into the state tournament.
Oh, he just got a big throw right here. And the pin. So Birchman winds up going out the back way.
And now he'll wrestle Rick from Royal in the consolation.
Now here's a tough one. Now we have not seen. We're actually now going to see at 120 pounds. We were a little bit behind, but we're catching up now. 120 here. Drew Powell, and he is going to be taking on Rowan Carey of Mineral Point.
This will get Carey finally in the tournament. He received that one bye that we had in the first round.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that means that, because Clark was not there. Clark should have been there, but he's not. So if Powell does not win, he will actually be in the match for third place automatically.
That's right, yep.
Carey's going to pick up the takedown. And the quick 2-0 lead, just not even 30 seconds into the match.
Rowan Carey right now third ranked in the state, behind Mr. Nutter, who's down on the bottom side. Those two have really gone to task with each other the last 2 weeks. Here at Wrestle Center, they wrestled in the finals of the tournament, and Carey came out on top. Then last week in the finals here, Super Regional, it turned the other way around, didn't it?
That's just what, you never know with wrestling. I mean, somebody gets a little more determined, somebody's maybe not right on top of their game plan, and 1 week to the next, it could be a big difference.
Well, Carey wants to, if he's going to have to beat a tough wrestler, Dylan Powell here in the semifinals to punch his ticket to wrestle Nutter again, who's already there.
Right.
We're at 132 on the other two semifinals, and that is Colin McKittrick down here on mat number 3, and he's taking on another Mineral Point wrestler, and that's Cade Rule. And down here on mat number 1, we have Trevor Paulson from Aquinas. He takes on Ian Krapp, who's got a 2-0 lead right now, and they're in the second period. So we got Mineral Point on both ends. I guess only one, excuse me, I got that wrong. We got 32 on both ends. So we got Aquinas down here.
Yep.
Mineral Point on that end.
2-0 at the end of period number 1 for Powell and Carey. Powell will defer.
So we got the two Chads in the chair down there.
Yep. Head coach Chad Autumn and assistant coach Chad Powell. I was telling Dylan, I talked to the kids, the Powell family, and I go, well, just so you know, I'm old enough to remember watching your dad win a state championship. And they go, what?
What?
I go, I was actually cheering for him, and I didn't even know him, I said. They just laugh whenever I tell them that.
Long-time coach that Chad had a career there. Oh, wow. Getting a rule down there has McKittrick in a lot of trouble at 132. Cade Rule having a good year. Right now he's ranked number 3 in the state. McKittrick number 6.
Wow.
There's the pin. So that puts McKittrick on the backside. He's going to have to work some to get back in this tournament. He will take on another man from Hillsboro. So Hillsboro's getting 3 young men back, at least for another shot in the tournament.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
3-0 now is Roland Carey gets out in that match. And down there in our other match, a nice 5-0 lead in favor of Krapp from Fenimore.
Takedown here.
Carey extends his lead, 5-0. Move up to 138 down there in another semifinal action, and that'll be another Mineral Point wrestler, and that will be Lucas Sullivan, the fine senior from Mineral Point, and he takes on Jaden Glassbrenner from Fenimore. Sullivan crew over there somewhere, Greg and Gary and the whole family.
Yeah.
Try to keep Gary towards the top so he doesn't jump out of the stands.
Good luck.
What a great family.
Here's another good scramble. Carey just keeps the pressure on.
Dylan's got a nice record, but I just don't think he's run in this year to the caliber of wrestlers like he's running into here with Rowan Carey and Aaron Nutter.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler. There's no question about it.
No question about it, yep.
Down
He's still got a shot here, too.
Yeah. At 138, your matchup here on mat 3. Let's see, who do we have here? Is that Pinky down there? Let's see here. Wow, watch out there. That is actually Sullivan and Glassbrenner, right?
Yep.
And
kind of draping head scissors there, but they let it go, and it worked out to Sullivan's.
He's picking up the takedown and now some back points. Carey with some back points of his own now.
Real close to a fall. Starting at 120 and you go up to 45. Really Mineral Point strength. Although Powell got out of that.
He did.
Now he's going to come back and score some points of his own.
Still a major decision, 10-2 after Powell gets that reversal. But he is on the board.
And I'll switch to some blood there, I think.
Carey trying to come up with an escape here. They will go out of bounds. Powell will maintain control.
7-2 the final down there on mat number 1 as Ian Krapp punches his ticket to the finals.
That was at what weight?
That was at 132.
Thank you.
And that puts Paulson in the backside, and he now will wrestle another Brooker wrestler. Guzman gets back in the tournament. It's another one from your employer.
There you go. Well, Alex Guzman, he is one of those kind of kids that, you're happy that he's here. He wrestles up a weight, actually probably up 2 weight classes. He really should probably be like a 20-pounder. But again, you got Dylan and Drew Powell, and he's just not been able to beat those guys. Great wrestle-offs, but he just comes up short, and he wrestles 32, so good for him.
38 in our other one. That's Jesse Pinky. Well, you got a final. Go over that, Ken.
Yeah, it's going to be a 12-2 final here with Rowan Carey of Mineral Point picking up the win over Dylan Powell. Dylan will get a bye here in the semifinal Wrestleback series, and that means he will be wrestling for 3rd place a little bit later on. So in one way, that's kind of a nice little break. He can kind of catch his breath, regroup, and get ready and watch somebody, and that somebody will be Radovich from New Lisbon and Thine of Hillsborough. And I tell you what, he's wrestled both those guys, and he's been the conference champ, so he's got a shot.
I'd like to be in that 3rd place match instead of having to wrestle for it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's going to move us up. We're at 138 on our far mat down here, and that's Jesse Pinky taking on Caden Lindner from Iowa Grant. Right now it's 2-2. Just an escape there by Linder, making it 3-2. Our center mat, we're going to move up to 145, and that's going to be another Iowa Grant Highland wrestler, Tyson Emhoff, as he takes on Skylar Zanzavich from Fenimore. Then still have Sullivan and Glassbrenner going down there on mat number 3. 8-0 now in favor of Sullivan. So we're moving up quickly to 145. Guess I can put my 121 away now. Finally catching up with that. That means my 126. I almost can get my paperwork kind of clean, Ken. I think we're up to 38 and 45, and there we go. I like only working with a couple sheets.
Exactly. Well, we hope you're enjoying today's broadcast. Again, thanks to more of those sponsors, Central Express in Cashton and Pasture Pride also in Cashton, bringing you today's action here from Richland Center, Citizens First Bank in Viroqua. Of course, you'll find them in Viola and Sparta and the surrounding area. Clary Trucking, thanks to Troy and Colton Clary. Coon Valley Telecommunications bringing you the action. Countertops by Design. That's Link Buckles just outside of Westby. And our thanks to the DeSoto Wrestling Club for all their support. And Joe DeWitt Construction bringing you today's tournament here from Richland Center, where we're watching some great semifinal action. The winners know that they have an opportunity to wrestle at state, especially in this round anyways.
Yep, that's a lot of relief off your head.
Yeah.
To know you got a shot to go to Madison, but there's still all that pride of each of these individuals. They want to win this tournament today.
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's a feather in your hat if you can go out of here as a sectional champion.
Well, it should, especially with the new seating criteria. It may give you that opportunity to get that first round bye on Thursday night and right away be in the Friday morning.
Yes. We just saw a nice little takedown there by Moline. He picks that up over Sensevich and has that 2-0 lead.
Well, that's Emhoff.
Oh, is that Imhoff?
Yeah, Imhoff upset Moline. Iowa Grand Highland against Fenimore. 145.
You know what I did? I looked at that uniform and I thought that was Aquinas's gold one. Thank you for that. Yeah.
That's Fenimore's gold one.
That's Fenimore's gold one. They're messing with me.
A lot of these, used to be at tournaments you could kind of lock into a uniform early in the day.
Right.
But now is some of these young men, and I don't blame them, they change uniforms every round.
Yeah, why not? That's
nice
okay.
job down there by Lucas Sullivan. Hate to jump in there, Ken, but
Nope.
he comes up with a check fall, 15-0. He moves on to the finals, and he will take on the winner of this match we're watching out here between Pinky from Iowa Grant. Oh, wait, no, that's down here. Mat number 1.
Yeah.
Pinky and Linder down here. Right now, Linden leading 7-2. So we got 2 Iowa Grant wrestlers on there, and now we're going to move up to 145. That could be our other Westby wrestler down there, isn't it?
That's going to be Garrett Vatlin coming out onto the mat. He is taking on at 145, and I got to get this
Taryn
one
Riley.
here, Taryn Riley. That was a interesting matchup last week in the finals. Garrett Vatlin actually got the opening takedown, but he wound up losing by like 5 or 6 points because Riley, he's pretty good at tilts.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good at tilts.
Defending state runner-up.
Yeah.
And right now, number 1 ranked in this weight class. But Vatlin, no slouch, ranked number 4, and Zenzevich ranked number 3.
He was ranked number 2 prior to that matchup, so he's dropped a couple of spots here and coming in as the number 3 placed ranked number 3 spot from that super regional because he lost in the wrestle back then.
Yep. Boy, Linder is doing a fine job down there now, up 12-2 in his bout there. So we're up to 145 and 138. Now kind of got our paperwork together and kind of got our weight classes together. We should have at least a more manageable situation for people to watch.
Helps a little bit that way, doesn't it? Thanks going out to Evinger Equipment Sales and Service. That is Mark Evinger in Viroqua, Junior and Telecom. You're watching on their public channel. Hartshee Lumber in Laval, supporting Laval and Cazenovia area. Ithaca Wrestling Club, Ithaca Weston Wrestling Club, helping us out. And say my sincere thanks, not to, of course, to all of these, but Dale Comroe and Dave Bellin of Jostens. They go around, and boy, I tell you what a job they continue to do for upcoming, the sophomores getting their class rings and, of course, graduation. Thanks to Jostens supporting the broadcast, as well as Kickapoo Creekside, wishing all the best to the Kickapoo Lafarge Predators. And, of course, we got some of the gals coming up here a little bit later as well.
Another one of those tilts you were talking about there, Ken. And Riley extends his lead now over Vatlin, 5-0. This is a good chance to give a shout-out because his next-door neighbor, Pinky, is out there wrestling. But our good friend, Mike Nicolotti, recovering from surgery up there in the Gunderson Hospital watching us today. So we'll give him a shout-out here. As next to us is Aquinas, and one of the gentlemen standing up here watching right now is a cousin of Michael's.
Yeah, that's right. They promised not to pull the plug on us if we talk nice about Mike, right?
There we go, yeah. As Pinky, though, had a tough draw there as Linder beats him 12-3, and Mike's next-door neighbor is going to have to wrestle on the backside to get out of this tournament.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, he's not sitting in a bad spot.
No, he isn't. He's got to wrestle a young man from Independence next, but we'll see. He's at least still in the tournament.
Yes.
He can control his own destiny with win in the next match. So now we're going to move up to 152 in the one-weight class down here, and that'll be enough. Now we get into Aquinas' strength as Robert Flagey comes out. He takes on a real fine freshman from Iowa Grand Highland. That's going to be a good one down here, Ken.
Yes, it is, for sure, with
Flagey against Bussey.
Yeah.
We got a final here.
4-1.
4-1, and that was Zenzevich.
Yep.
Skylar Zanzavich, only a sophomore, and he moves on. He gets a shot at the state tournament.
That means it's going to be Meese and Manning coming up now.
There you go. You think you want to watch that one?
Maybe just a little.
Okay, I'll help you have it.
These two wrestlers, I think they wrestled a long time ago, maybe possibly as freshmen or sophomores, but and maybe even coming up through in the younger grade levels. I just don't remember, but they're obviously out here right now with a spot on the line for the state tournament. There's a nice little back trip by Meese, and they're going to go 2 for the takedown, no back points. They'll turn things around here.
As Ken said, Vatlin running into Riley down there with all those tilts now trails 9-0 as we go to the end of the second period.
Manning trying to get up. Meese able to break him back down. Let that chop on the left side. Trying to dig out the arm. Looking for a half Nelson series, half on a wrist. Manning trying to sit back in on that, trying to get some hand control. Meese up over the top here. Ashton Meese, of course, boy, I tell you what, he was, 5th at the bi-state, if I remember right.
Yep.
That was at 160 pounds, now dropping down to 152.
Second at the Clash.
Right.
At 160. Then, like you say, a champion last week at the Mineral Point Super Regional.
At 152.
That's where you, first time down there.
Yeah.
His shot this year, multiple state place winner down in Madison. So this year he'd like to stand a little bit higher on that podium.
Manning did not wrestle Meese last week.
Okay.
Manning lost to Bussey in the semis, and then Bussey defaulted out in the finals. He kind of tweaked his knee a little bit, and I think that, obviously as a coach you want to do what's best for your wrestler, keep him healthy. And Bussey did not wrestle at the team sectional in either of those matches, the first round or second. So definitely concern there for him to keep him healthy. Time running out here. And Meese out in front, 2-0. Thanks going out to Coon Creek Feeds in Coon Valley. That's Wayne Krasinga. Laval Telephone bringing you today's action. Legacy right there in Coon Valley. Appreciate their great support. Check out what all they have on the menu. And, of course, Lynn's Home Center in Cashton. Dwayne Lind and family. Manning trying to stand up, not able to do so as he's brought back down to the mat. And our good friend is mentioned here, that shout out to Mike Nicolati. It's Nicolati Construction in Stoddard. He'll send some good people out to help you, let me tell you. Manning now trying to watch out and protect himself from that tilt. Meese trying to load him up in there. It might have been a 1 count, but not 2.
14-3, Riley beats Vatlin down there. So Vatlin will go on the backside, and he'll have to wrestle Garrett Dragan from Royal as the Royal wrestler gets back into the tournament again.
Still
so that
2-0.
completes 145.
Okay, good deal.
Good match going down there, as you mentioned Bussey earlier. He scored there in the last period, but then Flagey came back, so it's going to be 6-2 here, ending the second period in that match.
Going to be a point for the escape here. As Meese says, just let me go up on my feet here with a minute to go in period number 2. 2-1 score. Both wrestlers on their knees. Manning trying to scoot in underneath, and Meese able to come up with the takedown. And he's not going to get the back points there as Manning able to belly out. And it's a 4-1 score.
Semifinal 160 down on the black mat. That is Jimmy Tibbetts from Mineral Point taking on the fine sophomore Tristan Stelt from Fenimore.
Well, those two have had to knock heads in the past couple weeks, you'd think.
Yep. Although Stelp sat out the Clash tournament.
He did, that's right.
But they might have probably wrestled last week then.
Meese trying to load Manning up on the hips. Manning trying to reach up over the top here, and time's going to run out.
Do want to give a quick shout out since we're here in broadcasting Richland Center to Shelly and the crew over there. Carl taking care of the Wisconsin Dells sectional of their Division II as Richland Center hopes to get a Haiti crew out of there, as I think for sure they're trying to get, and maybe even a couple other wrestlers.
Right, yeah, Wayne and Shelly over there, and Carl Zuby, I'm not sure if he's going to go up and help him any, but he might. I told him, you know, if you want, you can, but you got to get your daughter to the state tournament. So
that's true. That's right. His daughter's over there for a shot to get out.
He might be coaching more.
There you go. 8-2 now in favor of Flaggy down here in this 152-pound bout. This is a tough weight class, Ken.
Boy, it is.
Well,
no matter what way you go.
There's 4 really quality kids here in the semifinals. We're going to see how they battle out throughout the rest of the day. Got 2, 3, 6, and 12 right now out there on the mat.
I'll be darned.
In the whole state.
Uh-huh. Trying to come up with something underneath there. He's got a minute to go. Manning trails 6-1 now. Meese doing a great job of controlling those hips and keeping his hips in good position, not giving up anything. In all honesty, Lincoln likes scrambling, but Meese he's not biting into that at all.
Yep. 8-2 in the final down there for Flaggy, as that will give Chad Johnson's wrestler Seth Greeno a chance to get back in the tournament. (6-1) down there in favor of Tristan Stelp over Tibbetts from Mineral Point. Going to move up to the other 160-pound semifinal, and that is Calvin Hargrove, number 2 ranked in the state. He takes on number 6, Emerson Moan from Iowa Grant Highland. So 3 ranked wrestlers here in the semifinals in this sectional.
Time running out here, and Ashton Meese is going to pick up the victory here on Lincoln Manning. Final score will be 6-1. Meese punching his ticket to the state tournament. Manning will drop back, and he'll wrestle from Pittsville. He'll wrestle Lorvisky. Maybe that's how you say it.
I'm glad you had to pronounce it now.
Yeah, I'm guessing. All right. Our thanks going out to a couple more of our sponsors. Nordic Lane's helping us out today on the north side of Westby. North Crawford Seneca Wrestling Club. O'Reilly Auto Parts right here in Richland Center in Viroqua. Organic Valley, the fine folks up there in Lafarge and Cashton. And don't forget Premier Co-op. You'll find them in Westby, Richland Center, and, of course, the corporate office in Mount Horeb. We're up to 170 pounds now on the orange mat. Boy, yep. Beautiful duck under right there.
That would be David Moline from Aquinas taking on Gavin Hinderman from Independence Gilmanton. Down there on mat number 1, we're at 160, and that's Calvin Hargrove, as we mentioned. He takes on Emerson Moan. We still have Tristan Stelp for a second there as he gets the tech fall now, and he will move on to the championship there with an 17-1 win over Tibbetts from Mineral Point.
So Lean of Blair Taylor will have an opportunity for a wrestle back. He gets back into the tournament. Meanwhile, at 170 here, boy, I tell you what, doing a pretty good job getting after things. Moline has a pinning combination, got things locked up on Gavin Brager of Independence Gilmanton.
This is where, like we talked earlier, we're at about 152 or so Deke Stanik's crew gets really tough almost all the way up to now with that new wrestler at Linder, I think at 220.
220.
They go all the way up there. Just some real. Of course, like you said, when you had a state championship football team, you expect to see some good athletes out here on the wrestling team. And gladly, Deke Stanik, the fine coach they had, got him out for the wrestling team instead of the basketball team. But I understand their basketball team is not too bad either.
No, I guess not. 160. It's going to be Hargrove is now inching out further ahead. It's 7-1. Just starting out here, we've got
10-0 in that 70-pound match.
And at 170, Colin O'Neill has stepped out onto the mat. He's in the upper right corner of our screen. He is taking on Nathan Blaschke of Fenimore.
This is a chance for Colin here. This is not a bad draw for him.
Right. If he can he's got a sophomore here in Blaschke, but I mean, Blaschke's, they wrestle older than what they are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I mean, Colin wrestled a real fine match to already get by David Fargen. So
yes.
So we're kind of a little bit, favorable for Colin from our area to win, and then that would give Fargen a chance for Russell back.
Yep. Well, and you would think that he would be on a little bit of a high, picking up that win, moving into the semis. So
and all three of them are pretty closely ranked. Blaschke at 8, O'Neill at 11, and then Fargen was at 10. So
wow.
Three good quality wrestlers here. So this could be a good match and good one to watch, and hopefully a good one for Ithaca to get maybe an athlete back in the tournament.
Right. And I'm just wondering, is Moline, what is he ranked? He's got to be, 2 or 3?
Oh, only 1.
Oh, only 1. Oh, excuse me.
But he's on the other side of the bracket. We'll worry about him later.
Well, later. You're right.
I don't think we have to worry much about him.
Well, he's out in front 14-1. He's kind of coasting along here, looking for some more back points. Meanwhile, with O'Neill and Blaschke, there's a 0-0 score. Blaschke will choose the down position to begin period number 2.
12-1 down at the purple mat is the other tough Aquinas wrestler, Calvin Hargrove. He's kind of dominating Emerson Moan. Tough draw for him. Our center one is going to be over with now here. There's a tech fall for that number 1 ranked wrestler, David Moline, as he moves on. You got some excitement going down there, Ken. You better be listening.
Well, it's a 1-0 score here with O'Neill and Blaschke. Picking up the point was Blaschke.
That gives the Riverdale wrestler back in the tournament.
Yes.
So now he'll wrestle Hinderman, or
Brager. Yep.
From Indy. I always like calling it Indy.
Indy,
even
yes.
though it's Independence.
Well, they had that on their uniforms way back. They had Indy on there. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
You definitely knew where they were and who they were. I enjoyed
First
that.
Lancaster wrestler in the semifinals on the mat here.
Golly?
Yep, that should be Golly. Bryce, as he takes on Wyatt Annan from Fenimore.
That could be a good one.
Should be. Our Westby people will remember when the Annan family used to live in that community.
You bet. Here's Blaschke coming in on a single leg, and he's trying to drag O'Neill back in closer to the mat here, trying to come up with that takedown. O'Neill trying to get that whizzer in and fight this off. He feels a trip coming, and Blaschke picks up the 2.
Moan down here is trying to stage a little bit of a comeback, but he's gotten it up to 14-6 though with his takedown against Hargrove.
Three 0 your score here. O'Neill says, I've got to go down.
(16-6). Oh, Hargrove hangs on, scores some points there at the end. He will move on to the finals.
Well, that gives Colton Clark of Kickapoo Lafarge an opportunity to get back into the tournament. he will take on Emerson Moan a little bit later on here.
That completes 160 for us. Now we're up to 170 and 182. Pretty quick here. Going to get into our last 3 bouts or 3 weight classes of the round. Last 170 and our 2 182s out here at once. Then we'll move on to 195 and 220. Down here at the far end in the other semifinal, we have Riverdale. That'd be Caden Rinish. He takes on that fine junior from Blair Taylor, Jackson Schromick. Remember his name real well because he had some really good bouts with Colton Stibbe earlier in the year when Colton was healthy. I just saw his, a relative of ours, Shelly Stibbe, post that, wrestling was fair to Colton, but maybe it was tough, injury his sophomore and freshman year, and then get hurt at regionals last year, and now another injury this year.
Man.
So I think he's looking to go on to baseball and a few other
There
things.
you go.
Fine career, though, by Colton Stibbe.
Yep. Golly just doing a nice job of controlling Anand so far in that match as they go out of bounds.
Yep.
O'Neal picked up the escape. He's got 1 minute to get a takedown here and tie this match up. Trying to come in. He's got a single leg now on a high crotch. Has to let go of it as Blaschke fights that off. A lot of leverage there from Blaschke. Trying to take a look here if
O'Neal appears to be the aggressor to me right now. We'll have to see how long the official allows him to dance away.
Right.
There's what I thought would happen.
Yep. Trying to post
O'Neal's only got 12 seconds, though.
It's going to be a 3-1 victory here. Blaschke picks up the win.
That means bad news for David Fargen as his season will end.
Yep. Getzinger of Pittsville gets back into the tournament. He will wrestle Colin O'Neal in the Wrestleback Series.
So that completes 170. So now we'll move up to 95 on that weight class. And that'll be another Aquinas wrestler, Tyson Martin, stepping out there against Brody Brokop from Iowa Grande Highland. Down in our far match with Renish down there, he's wrestling well against Schromick from Blair Taylor, 2-1 after the first period.
He's got the lead, you're right.
Oh, he's trailing. No, he does.
Is he?
Well, you might be right. I thought the other takedown was the other way. Maybe, I don't know, right now they got 2-1 in favor of red, so we'll go with that.
Our thanks going out to a couple more of our sponsors. Let's take a look at Proline Printing in Viroqua. That's Chet Melcher, Portland Implement. Thanks to that great crew over there on Highway 27. Ray's Gas and Goodies just inside the city limits of Cashton, helping us out. Richland Grant Telephone in Blue River, as well as the River Bank in Westby and Coon Valley. Don't forget Rockton with the best grilled chicken in the area. Boy, from May through October, they do a wonderful job. That's in Rockton. Well, at 195.
That was Tyson Martin getting a first period pin against Brody Brokop, which puts him now on the backside. That'll give Graham Fitzsimmons a chance to wrestle him in the wrestleback.
Those two wrestled in the past. They've had some battles.
Yep.
Both of them with the same number of losses. That's going to be interesting.
2-0 in our center, Matt, as we're in the third period with right now that would be Golly behind. But now he's close to getting a takedown. And he does secure that takedown and tie it up. Our far end, Renish is still winning down there. 3-1, he's up.
Well, Golly said, let's go neutral. He gives Anand the point, back on their feet with 1:05 to go. Meanwhile, Hankey over here, Kirk, is going against Self of Ithaca Weston.
You want to watch that one, don't you?
Sure.
I'll keep track of these Lancaster and Riverdale wrestlers.
Okay. Marshall Self picked up a quick pin in that first period in the quarterfinals. And now wrestling Hankey of Lancaster. He's looking to try and punch his ticket back to the state tournament again. Hankey picked up the win over Drew Brager of Independence Gilmanton in that quarterfinal round. Self has the wrist and the arm bar. He's trying to go for that turn once again. He's usually very, very solid here. He blocks the shoulder, trying to pull Hankey over. You got some excitement going on.
Well, we got 2 Stolly calls there in a short while, and now we got a tie score with just a few seconds to go here at 182. That is between Golly from Lancaster and Anand from Fenimore. We'll go to our first sudden victory of the day, Ken.
Wow, how about that? Meanwhile, it's a 5-0 score for Marshall Self out in front with a nice takedown and some back points. Boy.
Anand comes up with a takedown, really tight there. But he did get the takedown by getting the leg in and getting the control. And he will be your finalist for Fenimore with a sudden victory, 5-3 win.
Golly will now wrestle Ryan McCoy, a freshman from Hillsboro, another Hillsboro wrestler, Kirk, back into the tournament.
Yeah, they're good. The wrestleback round is at least giving them opportunities.
Giving them some chances here.
Renish still winning down there. This is going to be a big win for him if he can hold on here over Schramik, number 3 ranked wrestler in the state. Renish is ranked 7 though, so can't say that he's at. You know, we've watched him all year. We're amazed how this young man changed his, from where he was as a sophomore. He's really wrestling. He's got a 44-8 record, so it's no surprise to the Riverdale Chieftains.
For sure. Well, and we watched him at the beginning of December here at the Richland Center Invite. Well, I shouldn't say the beginning, but in the week before or so, 10 days before the Bi-State. And, he had a tremendous tournament.
Yeah. Lost his workout partner in Wanik. I guess he had some somewhat interesting injury with fluid on a knee, so wish him the best of luck.
Right.
Recovering from that. He was underclassman, so as Coach Campbell told me, looking forward to see him come back next year.
Right. Yeah, he'll be tougher than ever.
And Renish, well, we're going to still watch him this year the way he keeps going here, although he's going to give up an escape here.
Yeah.
4-2. Don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, right, Ken?
Exactly.
4-2 lead, 45 seconds to go in that match. We're up to 2:20 in our center match now, and that is Aquinas against Fenimore, and that's another young man who just started wrestling here after football season for Aquinas, and that's Brady Leonard taking on from Fenimore. No, wait, excuse me, from Aquinas.
Brady's from Aquinas.
Sorry, yeah. So it is Fenimore.
Yep.
That is Dalton Wolf. If you can beat a Fenimore wrestler with a throw, you're doing something, and he's got him in a lot of trouble. You got to fall down there, though.
Yes, Marshall Self comes up with the pin. It'll be a 3:27 pin time. And Self punches his ticket to the state tournament.
Young man from Aquinas picked up his fall, so bang bang at 220. So it'll be an Ithaca Aquinas final.
Wow. How about that? Hudson Brown of Io Grant back into the tournament now, Kirk.
Yep. So
and he will take on Dalton Wolf.
the young man from Whitnall who got in the back door.
Yep.
Oh, Renish down there gets another takedown, and he's going to advance to the finals with a 6-2 win over Schramek, and that's a big win down there for the young man from Riverdale.
Yes.
And he takes on Wyatt Hanen, and those two have just wrestled recently too. Renish and Hanen will go at it in your championship at 182. So now we're moving up quickly to 285, and we already have a takedown in our match here of Culpet against Even Gotts. And Gotts has got Culpet in a lot of trouble right away, and that ends quickly in 18 seconds. Right now, Ethan Gotts ranked number 3 in the state, and he is just one tough 285-pounder.
Yeah, he really is.
But Cashton still has a shot here on the backside as he will wrestle the young man from Pittsville.
Thanks going out to more of our sponsors, Scenic Bluffs Community Health in Cashton, Sealands Carperland in Coon Valley. Our great friends at Southwest Technical College in Fenimore bringing you today's action. And Stanek Dental in La Crosse. Don't forget St. Joe's Equipment. You'll find them in Richland Center here, Norwalk, and of course La Crosse, also in Minnesota. The Showen Company, Jim Showen, and the Marketplace helping us out today in Gaze Mills, and Stetson Clary along with Troy. It's Top Dogs Wrestling. Well, I'm just trying to catch up with things here, Kirk.
I know it. So am I trying to grab my paper. We want to mention he's out here on the mat at 195 on mat number 1. Young man from Lancaster, we're happy to see back in action. Ryan McCartney, state place winner back here. He takes on Cameron Wolf of Fenimore. Two towns only 10 miles apart.
Yeah. Did 285, did we have the other match I take it?
I think it's probably on deck down there on mat number 1, and they're not willing to move it.
Huh, okay.
Because we're done with 220.
We are done with 220.
Yep, 220 is done. Aquinas against Ithaca in the finals.
Okay, yep.
And then that means Lancaster against that young man from Whitnall got life in this tournament by somebody not making it.
Yeah.
So they're already they're trying to get geared up for these consolation wrestlebacks.